So how are the Yankees going to solve this third base puzzle without the big names? What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. So we've been going over this for a while now. And again, keep in mind, we're less than 2 weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting, but that doesn't mean the Yankees third base puzzle is going to be solved before that. They don't really need to solve it until opening day. So they have a little bit more. Brian Cashman has almost 2 months to work with. And I guess it's going to be to the frustration of a lot of fans who want them to make moves, more moves, and sudden moves, and so on and so forth. I get the frustration. But I don't want to be, use frustration at the expense of logic and common sense either. So we'll go over a couple names now. How do the Yankees solve this puzzle without the big names? Right? And we'll go over some of the big names. And again, if you're a baseball fan, you want to be up to date, just hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, and turn on your notifications. Okay. And I'll make sure that you keep up you're kept up to date with all the news. And if you happen to be a football fan, I cover that now too. So I thank you so much for it. Now, with that said, who are some of the big names? Alex Bregman, Luis Arias, right? Some of these guys, even to a degree, Nico Horner. Now, some of these names, Ryan McMahon, obviously, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Arenado, right? Some of them might be available, some of them are not available. Some of them we just don't know yet. I think some of this is contingent upon where Alex Bregman signs. Now, I know there's an argument being put out there for Alex Bregman to the Yankees. Okay, Jeff Passan's been putting this out, while completely ignoring the fact that the Yankees are at the Cohen threshold already, financing a $1 billion stadium and have the luxury tax in it. And if you spend $25 million on Alex Bregman, it automatically turns to $50 million here because they're over the Cohen threshold. He didn't mention any of that. I am. Okay? That's a fact. Opinions don't change that. So now, and keep in mind too with Alex Bregman, yeah, he's got ice in his veins, proven postseason players, no doubt about it. And apparently 6 years ago, his dad said he wanted to play for the Yankees 6 years ago. But really, that's really not news for me. But keep in mind, too, not only would he cost that much money times two, but he would also cost them 2 draft picks because he comes with a qualifying offer, meaning 20% of the Yankees' upcoming draft would be gone. Remember, they signed Max Fried. They gave up 2 draft picks. They signed Alex Bregman. It's 2 more. It's 4 out of 20. 20% of their draft at the high end, too, would be gone. Okay. Additionally, they would also make it almost impossible for them to sign Juan Diaz. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's the number one international prospect next year, and the Yankees are already favorites to sign him. They're already directly connected to it. So not only would they most likely not be able to sign him, they would lose four draft picks and be way over luxury. So there's a lot of penalties that apply. It's not only money. So the Hal is cheap argument doesn't really have much credibility, but since he's already over $300 million, and there's only 3 teams that are there right now: the Yankees, the Phillies, and the Dodgers. Okay, Yankees are one of them. They've had a top 30 payroll. Okay, and it's actually a top 3 payroll of 30 every year, but one in the last 30 years. Top 3 payroll. So they're always spending. They're always putting themselves in a position to compete. Always, always, always. They don't always get it right. We know that, but not do any of the team. No team gets it right all the time. None. Okay, and that includes the Dodgers. So that's Alex Bregman. Now you got Nico Horner. Maybe Nico Horner becomes available if Alex Bregman signs with the Cubs. They seem to be one of the finalists. And keep in mind too, Alex Bregman already has 3 offers of 5 years each. So there is 0 chance of him coming here on a short-term deal. 0. Okay, so we don't know who the teams are, but the Yankees are not one of them, as far as we know. And even if they were, Brian Cashman's never going to leak that to people. You're just going to wake up one day and find out that he's here. That's how he operates, stealth. So, but again, going back to Nico Horner, he's another guy, right? Who could become a valuable leadoff hitter option here too, who has good defensive skills and a good solid contact bats on the right side. But he's also coming off an injury, just like Ha-Sung Kim, who's coming off shoulder surgery. People were upset the other day when Tampa Bay Rays signed them. And again, $29 million over 4 years, which does not equate to the Yankees here. Why? That $14 million a year becomes $28 right off the bat. And you're going to pay $28 million for a player coming off shoulder surgery when you don't even know he's healthy? Does that sound like a prudent investment? It doesn't. Okay. So that's another reason why they didn't sign Hassan Kim. Had he been healthy, maybe a different story. But there's also, the factor of who are they going to trade Marcus Stroman to, right? Think about let's there's a lot of people pushing for Marcus Stroman to be sent to the Padres for Luis Arias. I get it. The Yankees need a leadoff hitter, so they would accomplish that. But the Padres are looking to shed payroll. Okay, why would they take on more salary than less? That doesn't help them accomplish their goal, right? So there's that too. So if they're going to get Arias, they're going to have to trade Stroman somewhere else first, and then get Arias here, if they can still make that possible by giving a package of prospects and maybe even taking a left-handed reliever with them. That's possible. But again, if it's not, then what can they do here? Well, there's a team that maybe would take Marcus Stroman and has two players that might be available. Okay, because of the influx of infielders they have, and that's the Texas Rangers. Okay, number one, you got Josh Young. Now he's a younger player with super duper high power potential. Okay, this past year he batted. This isn't a small sample size, but he batted 264 with 7 homers and 170 at bats. So it was a short sample size because he was coming off injury. Injury bug is prevalent across the board, but he's got serious power potential. He's already got 35 career home runs already too, and he's very young, and he would come with I think 5 years of control on the cheap. Okay, and he has a teammate, Josh Smith, also who was a former Yankee who was traded to the Rangers for Joey Gallo. Okay, he batted 250 with 13 home runs this year. Okay, 135 hits. He was also a 3.2 WAR player. Okay, Young was just under one. Josh Smith was over a 3 WAR player. So, and both of them play third base on the cheap. Okay, so those are two options there. Now we head over to the Dodgers. The Yankees have had trading success with the Dodgers. Max Muncy might be available. Might be. I don't know. The keyword might be. But he's also a 3 WAR player. Okay. He's a little bit older, but he's bats lefty, and he's got 2 more years in his contract. $12 million in 2025, and then a $10 million club option for 2026, a club option. So the Yankees could essentially get him for 1 year and move on. So if that's what they want to do. But if they want to stick within the payroll parameters, it might be wise for them to talk to the Texas Rangers. The Max Muncy, again, 3 WAR player. Okay. 15 homers, batted 232 this year. So he's got some power on the lefty side. Josh Smith bats from the lefty side. Josh Jung bats from the righty side. So those are three options, none of them which are big names. That could be potential fits here for the Yankees. Nolan Arenado is a big name. We know this. And Luis Arias is a big name. Alex Bregman's a big name. Okay, but we're also heard from somebody from ESPN saying the Yankees are not, they're out on Arenado and Alex Bregman. I didn't hear that from Cash. I didn't hear from Hal. Heard from someone in ESPN. So I'm not considering it to be gospel. And again, when the Yankees are quiet, they tend to be working on something. They've been very quiet. So we don't know what they're going to do. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to put forth options that could potentially solve this puzzle. Okay, it would help, Yankee fans getting a little bit of level of comfort and relaxation. Okay, and hopefully these guys will be productive options here. And again, they wouldn't have to come here and be the superstar either. Yankees have plenty of those already. So they would come in and be a good role player, complementary piece to the lineup that the Yankees already have in their quest to winning the World Series in 2025 and beyond that. And again, when you have guys with multiple years of control, that's a sign of security, a check, right? A box checked off where the Yankees don't have to worry about that position for years. It also gives them time to develop guys like Roderick Arias and George Lombard if they're not traded, right? So it allows them to have that security blanket too. So to me, these are the types of moves that make sense. As much as I think Arenado is probably the most likely guy that the Yankees acquire if that happens, these guys present options too. As much as I think Luis Arias would be the best leadoff hitter here, hence the word leadoff hitter. Okay, like I said, I don't think his defense would hurt the team as much as his offense would help them. Okay, there's not a player in baseball that averaged 200 hits. Luis Arias is the one. Okay, and that matters when you have a better 7, 8, 9, and when somebody to set up 2, 3, and 4. Luis Arias would do exactly that. People complain that he's a singles hitter. Look at his doubles. He averages about 30 doubles a year too. And I'd rather take a 2-run double and a 2-run single any day of the week over a solo home run. That's just me though. So there's some names. People mentioned Max Muncy before, and I talked about Josh Young before too from the Rangers. But Josh Smith is another option, and these are options. And again, not sexy at all. Like Didi Gregorius was not a sexy option before he came here, but he was a hell of a player here, right? So that's just the way that it is sometimes. And I think the Yankees will be bringing in somebody because it doesn't sound like they're going to be starting with, even though Aaron Boone said, okay, and he was referring to today's team, which is incomplete. There's still 3 holes to fill on the roster, on the 40 man. Okay. And he said, based on today's team, there would likely be a competition between DJ and Oswaldo and Oswald Peraza. Now, if Oswald Peraza lit up in spring training, at the very least, at the very worst, I would give him a bench play. I would put him on a 26 and be a bench guy. But if he wins the starting job, then he wins the starting job if they don't make any moves. But these are the types of guys I think could have some impact. And again, Oswald Peraza has not been a 3-WAR player. 2 of these guys are already 3-WAR players. So they're ahead of the curve on Peraza. They're ahead of the curve on Oswaldo Cabrera too. And I think Oswaldo Cabrera's best value to the Yankees is a Swiss Army knife, the multiple position player. But you guys let me know what you think. Really. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if are you considering any of these guys? And again, like I said, they're not sexy names, but names that could be impactful players for the Yankees and serve the role that they need, right? A good defensive player, third base, okay, who's probably going to hit at the bottom of the lineup, most likely, okay, or the bottom third of the lineup, and be expected to be contributing and be a consistent player and just a good teammate. So let me know what your thoughts are, gang. Let's get into it. Peace.